I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it grizzly. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it grizzly.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Tyson Fury responds to Derek Chisora picking Anthony Joshua to beat him if they ever fought. During the same interview on Talk Sport, they asked Derek Chisora about who'd he'd pick in a fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, and here's what he had to say.
He fights for AJ Fury. I'll go with AJ. Really? Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Why, Derek?
Really? Yeah.
You just told us what Fury's got.
Yeah. See,
You know, I've
like AJ's power punch is unbelievable. Yeah.
His power punch.
Yeah.
AJ.
So is Wilder's. And he took Wilder's. But what you see, Wilder
Different,
didn't know what to
different type
do.
of shot, though. Different
So
type
how
of
would
different
AJ
dynamic,
beat
Fury? Derek,
He
take it
cannot
to the break.
He-
How would AJ beat Fury?
If AJ fights Fury, AJ has to just go on him straight away, blast him out. He can't box him. If he boxes him, we lose the fight. He has to fight him. If you give Fury time on the ball, you're in trouble.
So AJ from the word go blasts him out, and you think AJ is capable of blasting out Fury?
Yeah, why not? He's blasted always 22 opponents before. Why can't he
You've
do
been in
it?
the ring with both of them. You sparred AJ hundreds of rounds. You've been in the ring with Fury. You think AJ's got the boxing capability to catch Fury?
No, he's not going to practice on boxing anymore.
No. I'm saying if he takes it out there,
It's a
takes
fight.
the heat to
It's
him
a
straight
fight.
in there.
Fight. You
It's
know
a
what?
fight, yeah.
The only person who boxes in this game is Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
The rest of the fighters, the rest boxers should
Do you not
fight.
think that Anthony Joshua's a bit of a flat track bully? That's beaten fighters when they don't put it back on him. When he gets put back on him, when Dillian put it back on him, if Dillian had been a bit more experienced, he'd have beaten AJ in that fight.
No,
And
but
when Klitschko fought him, Klitschko gassed.
Yeah, hold on.
Go on.
It's not about he got gassed. Yeah.
Klitschko gassed in that fight.
Even AJ gassed in that fight. AJ gassed in
But Klitschko 5 years earlier would have put him away.
No, but you're missing the point.
Go on.
He knocked him out. He got lights out.
Yeah.
Klitschko dropped him. Yeah, I was watching that on my daughter's birthday.
But
and
was he
my
a live one, Derek? Was he a real one? When
No.
he gets
So
he
when
fights
you
a
get
real
in
one,
the
he fights
ring, when you
Ruiz,
get in
Ruiz
the ring,
beats him.
when you get in the ring, you should know already what you're selling. You're still an opponent. You're going in there to fight. You're not getting in the ring because you're
have a tickling
old.
competition,
Yeah. You know, if I was fighting Jim right now, I'm not gonna take it easy on him because of his age. I wanna go blast him. You understand?
That's why everybody loved Derek Chisora.
That's a wild boy, man.
Here's what Tyson Fury had to say in response to what Derek Chisora had to say. Hold on a second. Let me just get this. Bring you back. All right. Volume's on. All right.
This is the message for Derek Chisora. I've just seen that you said you think AJ would blast me out. Never in a million years. If the biggest puncher in history couldn't blast me out, and Vladimir Klitschko couldn't blast me out, a big old bodybuilder can't blast me out, my friend. So, Del, he ain't got the bottle to fight Usyk again. Usyk will smash him next time properly. Never mind beat him on points and knock him out. But listen, it only takes one man like me. There's only ever been one man on these shores, and he called the Gypsy King, a.k.a. Tyson Fury.
All right, and so that's Tyson Fury responding, and you can see here, I'll KO AJ in 2 to 3 rounds. So, that was Tyson Fury's prediction. So I'm turning over to you, Conspiracy. What's your reaction to what Derek Chisora had to say in Tyson Fury's response?
Well, my reaction to Chisora is my man's too invested in this fight. Because I'm going to quote him. He said, quote, "We lose the fight." I'm like,
I noticed that.
I in the ring with AJ, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So that just tells me, man, Chisora's he invested too much, man. But I do like what Chisora's saying. AJ, don't box Fury. Just try to take the dude's head off. That makes sense. That's the type of strategy that AJ would need against a Tyson Fury. If he's trying to box Tyson Fury, I don't know, man. And Tyson Fury's response made sense. Klitschko couldn't do it. Wilder couldn't do it. What make you think you can do it, right? So it is kind of difficult when you're fighting a guy that's bigger than you and he's more fluid in the ring. That so if the AJ that was fighting Usyk, or the AJ that was even fighting Ruiz in that rematch, if that AJ shows up against Tyson Fury, I think he's gonna lose. I want the AJ old, the AJ that fought Klitschko. That was like, you know what? Somebody gonna die in this ring. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna be me. I think we need that old school AJ up against the Tyson Fury, because that's the type of hunger that Tyson Fury is bringing into that ring. So I see both gentlemen's points of view. You know, but when you look at it, it's really on what AJ shows up to that fight. And so, like, I'm hoping it's the AJ of old, but the AJ of new, I think the AJ of new will get defeated by Tyson Fury.
All right, $12 Bizzle.
Shout out to Derek Chisora again. It's just his opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's just his opinion. If he feels like AJ would beat him, I actually agree with his opinion. I think that if he goes in there with this approach, here's the problem. That if AJ, it's the same, it applies with Alexander Usyk. If AJ goes in there trying to box a Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk, these guys are boxers. Good boxers. He's a better boxer than other boxers. He's a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. He's a better boxer than even Andy Ruiz. We see him outbox him. We see him outbox. He's a better boxer than a lot of other boxers. But as far as the elite boxers in the heavyweight division, it's Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Like, seeing them two guys fight, that's going to be like chess match, maybe a little snooze fest a little bit. They might be a nominee for Snooze Fest of the Year if they get in there, you know, because these guys is great boxers. Might be a chess match. These guys probably won't even throw a punch for like the first 2 minutes of the first round, you know. But I do agree. I do agree with everything what G was saying. If AJ needs to come out there and put these guys on their butt, not be afraid of getting hit with something, not being timid, because those are the better options for him. Because I don't see him outboxing a Usyk, and I don't see him outboxing a Tyson Fury. But I do see him keys to victory if he goes in there and tries to bully these guys. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the same thing that Derek is saying too. So to me, I agree with his opinion.
All right, Ned the TBE.
Now, I completely agree. I said this on the show before. I feel if before AJ fought Usyk, AJ went on the way he fought Ruiz, that style of trying to the masterclass. He's not outclassing Tyson Fury, and I thought he wasn't gonna. I didn't think he was gonna try to masterclass Usyk. I thought he was gonna try to bully Usyk, but he got masterclassed by Usyk, and that's the thing. AJ, I love that you like studying the sport. You like building your skills, but certain fights you gotta understand where your skill set lies and where their skill set lies and what you have to do. And you show that you're willing to learn as a fighter and you're willing to grow, but you always have to know what to implement in every fight. And in these fights, I think Usyk's just a smaller Tyson Fury. I feel like you just have to be versatile with them, bully them, and get out. Also know how to recover. That's for me. That's what AJ needs to do: bully and not gas out. Like bully, recover. And then he'll easily dominate them both these fighters in any fight. But as of now, I don't know what AJ's game plan is, and Tyson Fury is right. Yeah, I feel like he would get you. He would show you like what you brought to him. If you thought you just come with one game plan, you have to come with multiple game plans for a guy like this. It's not It's not checkers. It's chess. It's and I'm just gonna say that for now.
A few things. See, AJ is we're witnessing how perception becomes reality. Let's focus on what the guy said from Talk Sport. He said AJ's become a bit of a bully, and if you get him, then he'll fade or he'll run away. And then he said, like, yeah, he beat Dillian White, and Dillian White put it on him. But if Dillian White had more experience, he would have beaten AJ. That's that guy's perception based on seeing what happened with Andy Ruiz and based on seeing what happened with Usyk. But what's the reality? The reality is Dillian White's been fighting longer than Anthony Joshua. The reality is Dillian White actually beat Anthony Joshua in the amateurs when Anthony Joshua just started out and Dillian White was more experienced. The reality is Dillian White was the one who was cocky going into the fight with Anthony Joshua, and you can watch the face-off because Dillian White was talking about how he already beat AJ. He was going to beat AJ again, and AJ gets all the hype that he doesn't deserve. He brought up that he
wore my pants.
He even brought up that he loaned AJ a pair of pants at one particular point in time. Okay, and he hurt AJ, and AJ didn't fade. AJ went through him. But let's talk about that AJ. That AJ had a mindset that he was indestructible. That AJ had a mindset that he could beat everyone. That AJ had self-belief. That's the same AJ who looked at Dominic Brazil like, yo, shut up, man. You talking way too much. You know what I'm saying? Went in there and took care of him. Mm-hmm. The same AJ who put Klitschko down. Klitschko put him down. He got back up and was able to win the fight. It's the same guy. Okay, so all this talk about him being a bit of a bully and being a punk, that's just the perception based off of what you saw in a fight with Andy Ruiz and what you saw in the fight with Usyk. But if you're Anthony Joshua, you got to actually know yourself. Know thyself. No one knows you better than you know yourself. And everyone's going to place limitations on you just because they've never been able to do it. You know how you hear me quote a lot of people, and I quote this guy plenty of times. I'm going to quote him again. Jay-Z. Talk about how, like, you know, when people would place their expectations on him, he said, I'm different. I can't base what I'm going to be off of what everyone else isn't. You understand? So everyone around you telling you what you can't do, what you got to know for yourself. You feel it in yourself. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you and I'm going to tell AJ the reason why people doubt him now. It's the way he went out to Andy Ruiz. It looked like he could keep going, but he didn't want to. That's why. I've seen Fury knocked unconscious in the Wilder fight. Eyes rolled in the back of his head. Never seen AJ knocked unconscious. I seen AJ knocked down. I never seen AJ knocked unconscious. I seen Fury knocked unconscious, though. I seen Deontay Wilder knocked unconscious. Never seen AJ knocked unconscious. The times I seen AJ look like he didn't believe in himself, so he was resigned to just accepting defeat. And that's why the perception is that he's a bully. That's why the perception is that if you take it to him, he'll just quit in the corner. When AJ has a bad round, he's looking at his corner like, oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? And he got dudes lying to him like, brilliant.
Brilliant, AJ. Brilliant.
Not get in there. Whoop him. You know, he need Goose in his hell. I'm like, hey, you effing it up, man. You need to get the F inside. Like, you need that. You need the realness. That's why people questioning AJ. Is that the reality? No. To get to what Tyson Fury said. Why shouldn't he feel that way? He beat Klitschko. He beat Anthony Joshua. Again, Chisora brings up a great point.
You said Anthony Joshua, but you meant Deontay Wilder.
Oh, Deontay Wilder, my bad. Yeah. He beat Deontay Wilder. Now, Chisora brings up a great point. Joshua has power, but he can also set up punches. He's different in the sense that he's not a one-trick pony. He doesn't only have one punch that's going to hurt you. You understand what I'm saying? And even when Deontay Wilder dropped Fury, Fury was able to get up and then stabilize him with a jab. It's going to be different if AJ hurts you. You know, so this is different, and you can't say the same thing. But Fury should be confident. And AJ needs to understand why people are questioning him right now. That's why I say it's up here for AJ. Are we going to see that dog? Because Mike Tyson had skill, but he used his skill to knock you out. Lennox Lewis had skill, but he used his skill to knock you out. Joshua, it's okay to have skill, but you're heavyweight. You should be using it to knock a mother effer out.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. This is our 100th podcast episode. And you know who we are. We're the Boxing Bros.
100.
You're welcome. You're all welcome.